Hello, how are all of you doing coming off of the energy of this most recent full moon in Aries? I had my 42nd birthday on Friday, so it was very interesting to feel myself in the energy. It's there's an energy around your birthday, regardless of whether or not there is a full moon or a new moon. I think that just for me, I find that with my birthday, there's just like this newness, this aliveness, this openness to new potentials. A birthday really always for me feels like New Year's. It feels way more like New Year's than come January 1st, and I really lean into where do I feel like I'm being called in this moment. And so again, it was really interesting and fun and challenging, all of the things, to really like witness myself in that energy of turning 42 and being so closely connected to this really powerful full moon that we just experienced. So I'm coming on today because I have a few messages that are just really ringing loudly for me, and I want to share them because I know that all of us are on our own path, and it looks very different for each and every one of us. And sometimes we may be like feeling into the energy of the full moon, and you're listening to things and you're like, but that just doesn't really resonate because I'm actually feeling really energized, right? Or maybe you're listening to something and someone says that you should be feeling really energetic right now and be having a lot of clarity. And you're like, that's not me either. I feel the complete opposite, right? Trust that your journey is exactly as it is, right? It is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. You are exactly where you need to be, right? Don't overthink it. Just really trust your own process. So, with that, again, I wanted to just come on and share a few things that are, again, really kind of coming through me, that I feel in sharing can serve you somewhere along your own journey. Again, we are all tapped into the energy of the collective. So these are three messages that you may resonate with all three of them. You may get something out of all three and be like, yes, that is completely where I am, or a part of me is there, right? You really kind of can feel that energy. However, if you want to really kind of take it a step farther, I invite you just to choose, one, two, three right now, intuitively, not overthinking it, just like whatever number is kind of ringing to you, whatever number is calling to you in this moment. And know that when you hear this message, it really is for you specifically. It's really going to be the message that you need to hear in this moment. All right, so let's get started with the first message. All right, the first message that I want to share is all about trust. It's all about trusting how your unique energy wants to move through you. And what do I mean by your energy in this way? When I was sitting in meditation this morning and allowing these messages to come through, I had this vision of sitting with one of my guides, and we were literally like moving our energy at the shoreline, watching the water dance. And the message that wanted to come through is that everything is energy. And of course, we all know that everything is energy, right? So, what does it mean then when allow the energy to move through you? Trust whatever wants to move through you, to let it go, right? To let it be, to let it do what it needs to do. And how I want to interpret this message for you, and again, if you have a slight different interpretation, do and listen and feel into whatever resonates for you and trust that. But for me, what this is really calling or inviting us is to, what are my intentions in this moment? Maybe my intention is to really be like a present mom and really love and shower and spend so much love in building and creating my home and this family unit. maybe my intention right now is to take better care of myself, right? Maybe it's to eat better. Maybe it's to nourish my body, better self care practices, that sort of thing. Where is your intention? What is really calling your attention? That may be an easier way to kind of get to this and understand what that really looks like. So, sitting with that, what is calling your attention in this moment? And then here is the second piece of that. And it's really the most important piece. Whatever is really calling your attention right now, trust that that is the thing. The thing. This is your sign. That is the thing that needs to, or that is the thing that is really going to allow you to move closer to your manifestation. That's going to allow you to move more towards joy and ease and peace and abundance, whatever you're hoping for, whatever you're kind of hoping that focus on that intention brings you. Maybe it's more happiness, maybe it's more fun, maybe it's more pleasure, maybe it's more freedom, whatever that may be. But it is through acting on those little intentions, wherever that focus is being called, when we act on that, that is really what is getting us closer to the life that we want to have. Okay. So, again, trusting that you know where that energy wants to move and how it wants to move through you, not second guessing that. Another part of this, and really probably the third, and it's such an integral part as well, is once you're trusting that intuition and you're taking action based on your own desires and needs, then really like surrendering, really letting go, really knowing that it's going to unfold in a way that is better than you could have planned. So, again, really just having trust in your intuition, in yourself, in that inner guidance coming up, and then trusting the power of the universe, the power of the divine, the power of, life itself to come together and support you in creating something beyond your wildest expectations. But it takes so much trust. And as loud as this message of where does that energy want to move through you? How does that energy want to move through you? The second part of that is really trusting that. Trusting, right? Trusting yourself. When you hear that voice, right? And again, sometimes it doesn't sound like a voice for all of us, right? Our intuition sounds very different for each and every one of us, and that is okay. It doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong and that you shouldn't trust it or you shouldn't listen, or because someone else is saying that they hear their intuition in a different way and you're not hearing it in that way, that whatever you are hearing inside of yourself is wrong and therefore you shouldn't listen to that. Okay. So I want to make that disclaimer because it's so easy to get caught up in, am I doing this right? I don't know. I don't know if this feels right. Trust that what's coming up for you is exactly what's meant to come up for you. You cannot get it wrong, right? So in these moments right now, if it feels really hard to kind of tap into that inner guidance system or that inner voice, trust that your desire is enough, right? Again, that desire to get healthier, that desire to, I don't know, maybe slow down in your life, be more intentional, whatever is coming up for you, right? Those are little desires. And I believe that those desires are always on our heart, guiding you to the very next step, right? Who knows? Maybe it's guiding you to something huge. Maybe it's just guiding you to that next thing that needs to unfold for you in this moment that allows you to see maybe like a bigger part of the picture or step into something greater for yourself, whatever that looks like. Okay. So, again, then through that trust, we have to trust in the support that we're getting, again, from the divine, from the universe, from life itself, whatever resonates with you. Trusting that it is all going to unfold exactly as it's meant to. And you don't need to try so hard. You don't need to feel like you need to control how it all works out because sometimes that's where we get really like stuck in the mud trying to control, when we just trust and step back and lean back and allow, things start to unfold in really magical and beautiful and powerful ways. Okay, so that is really the first message. Where does your energy want to move through you? How does your energy want to move through you? And then really trusting that guidance and trusting that you are supported always, but especially right now in this moment. Okay, the second message that is really coming through for me right now, there has been a lot of really beautiful and powerful healing energy with this full moon. Full moons are always about releasing, right? Letting go of the things that no longer serve so that we can manifest and bring things into our life. But specifically with this most recent full moon, and especially, kind of on the full moon tied to the new moon earlier in October, with the eclipse, so much healing energy. And this is so beautiful. And I think that the world needs so much healing right now. And we all know that it starts with each and every one of us. And that said, sometimes we get stuck on this loop of constantly thinking that we need to heal something, constantly thinking that we need to fix something in order to get something else, right? Oh, I need to heal those limiting beliefs to manifest X, right? I need to heal and fix my money mindset to get X, right? And there is a small part of that. And I do that work with clients, and I love the healing work, but I sometimes see people constantly getting stuck on the healing loop when they are not seeing the evidence of what they want to manifest in their life. So they think, okay, I'm not seeing it manifest, so I must still have healing to do. I must still have fixing to do. But this is what I want you to know. And this, I really, really hope you hear this, especially if you chose the second message intuitively. This is for you and you need this. You are already whole. You are already whole. Okay? There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing broken. There is nothing that needs to be fixed. When we talk about healing, or I should say, when I talk about healing, when I do healing work with my clients, it is to support you in remembering that you are already whole. It is coming back into alignment with your wholeness, with your fullness, right? All of the things that happen to you, all of the things consciously or unconsciously that you sometimes get stuck on, right? The mind can, get caught in this loop of, again, problem solving, wanting to fix. The mind is so good at that. That is what the mind is for. And sometimes we disconnect from our soul, right? We disconnect from the divine parts of ourselves, or I shouldn't say the parts of ourselves, the divine part of ourselves, right? We are already whole. And part of us having this human experience, right? We are here to be human. We are here to experience the fullness of life in whatever that looks like. And that may that may mean that you have experienced things that you're not super proud of, or you've failed at something, or you thought something would work out a certain way and it didn't. And you really beat yourself up about it. And you really judge yourself, right? But this message is really to remind you that you are already whole, and we all have human experiences that are divinely designed to allow for our growth and expansion. And when you can come back to your center, when you can come back to your heart, when you come back into alignment with the fact that you are body, and soul, right? Human and divine. That everything is meant to serve your own growth, evolution, and expansion, and that you need each and every one of the experiences that you had so that you can transmute that energy into something that allows you to step into your fullest potential, that allows you to see just how powerful of a creator that you are, that allows you to, again, experience the fullness of life in a way that gives you joy and peace. Because again, it's all working out for you. And I know that many of you listening to this have had all types of journeys, and I don't want to diminish what you have gone through. And I know that so many of you get stuck in this very victim mindset. But what if the key to completely changing your life is to stop looking at yourself and at your life as the victim, and instead do the work to transmute that energy, do the work to come back into wholeness with who you are? You are already whole, right? And I think that it's so beautiful during these full moons, especially when there's a lot of healing energy. Can you just trust that everything is kind of like all the kinks and all the things are already working out for you, that you don't have to do anything else, that the energy of whatever is happening, even the collective energy, right, as we all kind of work to heal ourselves, we simultaneously heal one another, and it's so beautiful. So what if you could just be less serious about the healing that you need to do? And I say that with so much love, because I get that this is a journey. And again, I'm not trying to diminish the work that you're doing, but really just coming back into alignment with your own wholeness, with the fact that you are already whole. And it's really just bringing like the mind and soul like back into resonance, because there's nothing wrong with you, right? You don't have to identify with any of the things that have happened to you in the past, right? They can have happened to you, but they aren't you. You aren't those things, right? You are always whole, and you are perfect, and you are beautiful, and you are loved, and you are so necessary and needed in this world. You have gifts to share, right? And we can share those gifts the easiest, right? From a place of wholeness when we reconnect, not because we have to fix something, not because we have to do something more, right? Not that because we have to be more. We just have to come back into alignment with the truth of who we are, that we are already whole and we are divinely supported. Okay, so sending you so much love. If you chose this message, again, you are already whole. I want you to start to move forward from a place of wholeness. What can you do today? What would you do today if you really felt that wholeness? If you just said, you know what? I trust that everything has healed and I'm coming back to my heart. What would I do today? How would I shine my own light in the world? How would I share my gifts? How would I feel? Would I have more confidence? Could I be less fearful, right? Whatever that feels like for you. But again, just trusting that you're supported and you are already whole and there's nothing wrong with you. Okay. Okay. The third message is about manifesting something bigger than you've been trying to manifest. So, this message may be for you if you feel like you've been doing so much work. You feel like you've been doing all of the right things. You feel like, you've manifested so much, but maybe you've really been trying to manifest something and it's not working out. It's not coming into your physical experience, right? It's not coming into your physical reality. And maybe there's even a part of you that's starting to feel frustrated, and maybe you don't know what you're doing wrong. And you just keep trying to, manifest and do the things that you know how to do. This message is for you. What I want to share is you are manifesting. Actually, I want to reframe this. There is something that is trying to be made manifest through you, but you are trying to manifest all of the things that you think you want. You are trying to manifest from a place of where you are right now, only with the awareness that you have. And even that, you may have really big hopes and dreams, and you can see those visions. But the message that's coming through is that there is something even bigger. There is something even bigger. There is something that has been put in you, right? Like your soul came here with a bigger purpose and a bigger mission, and it is trying to manifest it through you. And sometimes these roadblocks that you're hitting is because you're thinking too small. You're not surrendering and allowing this big manifestation to come through you. And maybe if you're listening to this, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what that means. I don't feel like I have a bigger purpose. I know what I want, right? So if that is you right now, this is what I want to invite you to do. Reflect, get quiet, meditate, do some things to let go of those ideas or thoughts or visions that you've had. Really quiet the mind, really empty out whatever you've been thinking, and try to connect to your heart space. Okay. And then from that place, simply ask, what do you want me to do in this life? What is my greater purpose? What vision do you have for me? Right? Just sit with that and see what wants to come up. Maybe it's just like a small action step. And then again, you have to courageously trust your own intuition, your own inner guidance, and take action in that way. Maybe you're like on the right path, you're almost there, but there's like a slight twist in it. And you need to go right, but you keep trying to control how things look and how things manifest, and you keep trying to like go left when you're really being called to go the other way. So maybe it's simply in sitting with yourself for a few moments or however feels good for you, and just seeing what wants to come up, and then get really honest with yourself. Are you courageous enough to trust that inner guidance? Are you hearing it? Is there some resistance there? Allow for whatever wants to come up and trust it no matter what that is. Okay. This is your sign again to trust yourself. There's such an overarching theme of trust right now. Trusting yourself, trusting in life, in the divine, in the universe, whatever resonates with you. So again, if that's where you are, really sitting with yourself and see what wants to come up. Now maybe you're on a slightly different side of the spectrum with this, where you know in your heart that there is a deeper longing or a deeper desire or something bigger, and you're not fully giving yourself permission to explore it or to say yes to that. Okay. So for you, it might be like, instead of saying yes to this thing that keeps calling on you, you're like, I'm just going to try this, I'm just going to try that, I'm going to just do this instead. But deep down there's a knowing that you need to do this thing. Okay. I know if you're listening to this, you know what I'm talking about. I know if this is you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So oftentimes when we're trying to manifest all of these other things because we're not listening to this, we're not going to manifest it as easily. Maybe it will still work out. Maybe you'll still manifest it in some way, but it can feel a lot harder. Maybe there's more effort expended, or it just won't manifest at all because, again, you are being called to something bigger. And that bigger thing is that deeper thing on your heart that you can just feel, even if we're all kind of in a different place, or in different places of our own journey. Maybe this is really loud and you keep just like pushing it down, or maybe it's just like a feeling and you don't even know what that is, but like you can feel something bubbling up there a little bit. You're like, this is so interesting. I don't know exactly what this looks like, or exactly, maybe kind of, I don't always love using the word purpose, right? Because it always means like career. We often associate it with that. But where it's like, I just need to do this thing, right? And it doesn't always mean like get a new job or quit your job or do something, right? But it's like you just know that there's something on your heart that you need to do. Maybe you don't even have total clarity around what that is, but really just sitting with that, giving yourself permission to let it bubble up. Because sometimes the hardest thing is just giving ourselves permission to even hear what it has to say, because that alone can feel really scary. Because, oh my gosh, what if it tells us something that we don't want to hear? Right? What if it tells us something that is going to feel really hard, right? What if it tells us something that's going to completely disrupt my my current day-to-day life, or a big change? I'm just not ready for that, right? Give yourself permission to hear what wants to come up. And again, then you're going to have to trust it, right? This doesn't mean that you're going to have to completely uproot your life and change everything about it tomorrow, right? But what if you just trusted and gave yourself permission to explore whatever wants to come up, right? Asking for guidance, asking for the easiest path, asking just to show you, what wants to be made manifest through me, what wants to be made manifest through you, right? Simply sitting with that again, no matter where you are. And again, trusting and courageously taking action, even if that is a small step. I promise, when you do this, when you listen, when you trust, when you courageously take aligned action, things will shift in the most powerful ways, right? Sometimes it doesn't logically make sense, but if you can trust and take that action, things will start to shift really, really quickly for you. But you have to trust that there is, in fact, something better than you could have imagined on the other side, right? When you let go of trying to control what you're trying to manifest, when you allow yourself to, I don't even want to say think bigger, because it's not that our logical minds can even think this big, right? It's really about allowing yourself to just open up to a bigger possibility, a possibility that isn't even in your current awareness yet. That's the magic I'm talking about. That's the magic that's available to you. It's available to each and every one of you. And that's when life gets really, really fun, is when we say, you know what? I don't actually know, but I only am concerned about being in complete alignment and allowing whatever wants to be made manifest through me to do so, right? That will completely change your life. And it takes a lot of trust and a lot of courage. And it's not something that very many of us are willing to do. But then we get to a point where we're like, you know what? I've tried all the things. I've done it the way that everyone told me I should. I've followed the strategies. I did whatever, right? Depending on, I'm talking about life, or if you're a business owner, all the things. What if you just let go? Right? And that is, I think it's the hardest part. So I'm not undermining that. But can you let go a little bit more today? Can you stop trying to control the outcome? Can you let go of what you think you want to manifest and instead let whatever the divine wants to make manifest through you, be so? All right. So that is the third message. I trust that each and every one of these messages spoke to you. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I'd love to hear where you are, where you are in your own journey, how you're feeling after this full moon. And no matter where it is, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm sending you so much love. See you next time.